All right, so what is going on, CloseBotters? This is our very first of hopefully many CloseBot Bootcamps. The whole objective of this, and let me spotlight myself, so hopefully, there we go. So the whole objective of this call is to really just kind of make sure that everybody's getting up to speed with CloseBot, make sure we answer any questions, because we see that a lot of users, they kind of dip their toe in the water with CloseBot, and for whatever reason or another, they may not be up and using it just yet, but we want to make sure that, is that due to not knowing how to connect it properly, not knowing what each of the workflows do, not knowing how to prompt it better. But again, this call is really just meant to make sure that we leave no stone unturned when it comes to setting up and connecting your CloseBot for you or a client, and make sure that you are proficient and efficient at using CloseBot so you can not only crush your own business, but help your clients crush it as well. So without any further ado, my name is Jeff Lopez. You've probably seen me commenting in here alongside my brother in crime here,
Charles.
Charles. So, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hey, everybody.
So we are preferred partners of CloseBot. You guys have probably seen me doing the interviews and also most recently doing a lot of the help article videos, trying to give some more clarity as far as how to connect everything and answer those questions that you guys are asking. So I want to let everybody know real quick some basic ground rules. If you have questions, certainly let us know in the chat. We will try to monitor the Facebook chat as well as the Zoom chat here. No question is too small of a question to be asked. So definitely ask. And if we don't get to it right away, as soon as we get to a pausing point, we're going to graze through the comments and answer those and make sure that everything is clear. Also, I do know that I get to talking fast. I'm a nerd by nature. So if you guys notice that I'm talking fast, or if I go over something too quickly and you want me to go over it, certainly let us know, but we'll go ahead and get started without any further ado here. So let's go ahead and share screen. All righty. Can everybody see my screen real quick? Can you guys just comment in the Zoom chat here? Just make sure you guys can see my screen before we get started.
Yes.
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're going to start with a basic setting up of a CloseBot workflow in your GoHighLevel account. So we've got a demo CloseBot account here specifically for the CloseBot Bootcamp. This literally set up fresh. There's absolutely nothing in here. The only thing that I added was a small funnel so we can connect the chat widget and just show you that the CloseBot is live once we get it up and running. Also, if you guys stay to the end, if you guys are on a test account, Bryce has given us something to give you guys. So be staying till the end if you guys are really looking to accelerate your CloseBot learning here. So, all right, we're going to go to the CloseBot app. So essentially, this is a brand new bot, and we are setting it up with just one of the templates here. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to grab this snapshot link. Oh, we got more people jumping in here. Awesome, awesome. We're going to grab this snapshot link. Now, one quick thing, do be logged into your GoHighLevel account at the app.gohighlevel.com domain. Sometimes if you're logged in through your white label domain, it may be a little wonky, but go to app.gohighlevel.com. You're going to log in with your login. I do believe you have to have an agency or an admin account of some sort to import this. But when we click on that snapshot link here in GoHighLevel, this is literally the first step of connecting CloseBot to your GoHighLevel. We're going to go ahead and import this. Here we go. All right. And what you should see here. Oh, top one. Yep. My Zoom window's in the way here. Okay, cool. We got this new one right here. So we are going to go to our sub accounts and we're going to add this to our sub account real quick. Right. Bootcamp. There we go. Let's click on this guy real quick. So once you guys import that, it's going to import it into the agency level of HighLevel. And you're going to have it in your list of snapshots there. So we went to our sub account that we want this into. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to make sure that we hit actions here. And we're just going to load the snapshot in. So this was the most recent one. It is CloseBot V4 here. Go ahead and proceed. All right. Now you're going to notice real quick. And if you want to look at all the custom fields that it's going to basically import into your account, you got a bunch of custom fields, which we're going to go over pretty much all of these when we get to it. But if you want to check out and see everything that's going to be imported, you can go ahead and hit these little plus signs and it'll show you. It's got the tags, which can trigger different workflows. And we'll kind of show you how and when to use those tags so that you can be, again, very proficient with CloseBot. And then workflows. This is going to be the pretty much the lifeline of your CloseBot setup within GoHighLevel. So we want to select all of those. You're going to proceed here. It's going to check for conflicts depending on if you guys are have a brand new account, or if you have an existing account, there may be more conflicts than this first one. I noticed that every time I import a snapshot, the missed call text back always says there's a conflict. You can override or skip. There's not really anything we're doing with that in particular. So I'm just going to proceed by skipping that. And then it's going to copy all the data here. So let me click OK. And then we're going to switch to this sub account. So I'm going to give it a moment here. Sometimes it does take like 30 to 60 seconds before that will fully load into your account, but it should load in there pretty quickly. Now, again, this is a fresh account, so I don't have any data. Yours may look slightly different. You may have opportunities in here. You may have the pie graph going with different opportunity statuses. But what we're looking for is automation. In here is where that workflow has been imported to. So we see our new workflow, and we're going to go open this guy real quick. Now, a couple things. If you see this new workflow, this 1709, 24444, whatever, this one just somehow imports in sometimes. This is actually not something that's being used. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one out. If you guys are setting this up today, or you might see that in there, but you can go ahead and delete that workflow if you want to save some confusion there, because that workflow is actually not in use at all. So let's delete that. And you should be left with 6 workflows here. You got your set last communication type, your process message, your send message, tool override message, tool reset contact, tool follow up 1 day. Now, if you don't see all 6 of these, then just re-import the snapshot, just name it, rename it at your agency level, like CloseBot V4 new, and import it in. Again, every once in a while, this thing will come in weird. I don't know if that's on HighLevel's end or CloseBot's end. It's very, very rare, but I have run into a couple instances where it's imported really weird. Let me check this stat real quick.
Or even we would potentially even wait a little bit, because like we discussed earlier, sometimes it does take a little bit to actually import into your sub account. So usually I will refresh, even log out and log back in, just to make sure I'm not duplicating multiple workflows.
Good call there. And Amanda just asked if this is being recorded. It is absolutely being recorded, and we will send this out to you guys within 24 hours of this being done. So let's go over what these workflows actually do. Set last communication type. This is the first one that's in there. Real quick, you'll notice that every one of these workflows is published except 2. 2 is pretty much the on and off switch for your bot. So we're going to leave this guy off until we go over everything in here. And then when we're ready, we're going to turn that thing on. So let's go to the first one, set last communication type. Now, depending on your level of knowledge with CloseBot, I will say Charles is more of a wizard than I at CloseBot, and also GoHighLevel. So when I first hopped in here, to be honest, this was a little overwhelming looking, but I was quickly relieved when I found out that I don't have to do anything with the information in here. Essentially, all this is your triggers from your different channels. And when I say channels, these are all the native conversation platforms for GoHighLevel. So for instance, if somebody's messaging you via text, that's your SMS. If somebody's messaging you via email, WhatsApp, Instagram, GMB is Google My Business, Facebook, so like your Facebook business page messenger, and then the chat, which is the chat widget. So you have these up top. These are basically where the messages are coming in from. And then it's routing everything through this workflow, through these actions, and then basically spitting them back out to the corresponding channels. So if somebody comes in through SMS, it goes through this workflow, and then it's going to send it back to an SMS channel, because we want to reply to the person or the contact through the channel that they originally messaged us on. And that's all this workflow is really doing, is making sure that, one, we've got our bot that it's on. Let me double check this real quick. There we go. Move this guy out of the way. So this first action here real quick, message history. So what this is doing is updating the field, and I apologize. Let me open this up so I can kind of explain this as we go a little bit better. Let's go to contacts here and create a contact. All right, my apologies. Let me make this real quick so I can go back and forth. That way we can see where it shows up within the contact as well. Let's just say info@closebot.ai. This is not a real phone number. I'm just typing one in. All right, let's save this guy right here. Okay. So when you imported your workflow and your snapshot in, you're going to have a few new options within the contact here. You're going to have some additional info here, which is going to have, let me refresh here. It's not actually showing it. All right, there we go. All right, so if you don't see these options within the contact, just refresh it. That again is due to that having a little bit of a delay when that workflow is imported into your GoHighLevel account. Once it's there, and all your contacts will now have these new fields. So you've got your CloseBot, your general info, and additional info. Again, I'm just going to pull up this one real quick because it kind of corresponds with what I'm showing you with this workflow. So this workflow, again, only job of this is to route the messages to the correct channels, update the message history, which I'll show you where that is here in just a second. And then we're going to make sure that it goes back to the corresponding channel. So let's go to the contact here. When it says it's updating the message history, it's doing that within this new little section that we have here. So within additional info, you're going to start to see that this message history is going to start building out. So this is what the bot is saying to the contact. And if you're using bot override messages, meaning you're pushing out conversation from CloseBot to initiate conversations, you'll see that message history as well right here. Now, again, I'll go over this a little later in this call, but all this is used for is, one, to give you something that if, let's just say, you complete all the objectives for your lead. For instance, in our agency, we work with chiropractors specifically in the weight loss field. So we're running ads for people that want to lose weight. We have objectives to collect their name, their email, and their phone number if we don't already have that information. The other things our docs or our clinics want to know is, how much weight are they looking to lose? What target areas of the body are they trying to target? And what they've tried before and what they didn't like about it. Once our bot achieves all those objectives, we have a pretty good message history right here. And we can trigger it that when all the objectives are complete, we can have a workflow send off an email to our customer or our clients, basically saying, hey, here's Jessica. She's, looking to lose 22 pounds. She has a wedding coming up next month, and she's trying to target her stomach section and her thighs. So all that message history can be sent. So we've basically built out what I would call a lead profile. And that's just one instance of, what you could use this for. It's not used by CloseBot for any reason other than giving you material or conversation that you can export and send out to, whether that be your client or whoever. So let me go back to this snapshot here, the workflow. So again, all this thing is doing is taking the message coming in, adding it to the message history, and then sending it back to the proper channel once CloseBot initiates a response. Now, the other thing here is basically it'll add a tag. Go to filter response here. If the person replies stop, and only if the person replies stop, it'll add the tag off. So again, that's doing it for you, but also, if they reply stop, it's probably going to be, stopping that whole conversation and SMS within GoHighLevel as well. But we're just making sure that the bot turns off. So again, you're not typically ever going to touch this one. This is just, routing the messages to the proper channel. Now, two, again, is that on and off switch. So let me click on process message. This is pretty much where all the magic happens. And you're going to notice that a lot of these workflows have very similar looks at the top here. Again, because we're collecting this information from where CloseBot is getting those messages from your client. So if that client's speaking through WhatsApp, through GoHighLevel, again, it's just telling CloseBot where it's coming from, and then it's going to route it back to the proper channel. But this one, once it's on, essentially this bot right here, or this message, is basically just checking to see if the bot has a tag that is AI off. So the first thing it's doing once it receives a message from any contact is checking that contact to see if there is a tag, which, let me go to your contacts here. If you guys aren't familiar with contacts and the tags, move this right here. If this right here, AI off, is on here, it's checking for that. And if this check turns up that doesn't have that, then it can proceed. If it turns up that it does have AI off on there, then it will not send messages. It will not process a message. It will not send a message back. So it's kind of like your fail safe if somebody doesn't want to be responded to the bot. Now, the AI off tag real quick can be added manually by your client. And that's something we teach our clients. Hey, if you want to take over the conversation or you don't like the direction that it's going, which it's been working very, very well. But if somebody just wants to turn it off, they literally can just type and add it on there. Also, you can start to include these in your workflows when all objectives are achieved to turn it off. Or if, for instance, one of our clients, they want it turned off when somebody pays. So when somebody pays, we turn that off, and then they go to book them manually. Let me go back here real quick. And again, all this is doing before it does anything is checking to make sure that that tag doesn't exist, and basically saying to CloseBot, okay, you can respond back to this client or this contact. From here, you scroll into the webhook here. This again right here is pretty much where all the magic is. So as soon as that happens and there is no tag saying that we can't send a message, we send that information to CloseBot, or this action sends the information to CloseBot. Now it's sending lead name. It's going to send the ID, which the ID is a contact ID that's within GoHighLevel. That basically just says, hey, this is coming from this contact. So when we send it back, it needs to go back to this contact. It's going to send the goals finished, which we'll show you here in just a second as well. And then the message body. So this is essentially taking the message that the contact said and sending it to CloseBot. So that way CloseBot can respond to that particular message. Now, the one cool thing that CloseBot does, well, a lot of cool things that CloseBot does, but the thing that I really like, with every single response, CloseBot starts a follow-up. Oh, got more people coming in here. CloseBot initiates a one-day follow-up. So essentially, it's pushing itself into another workflow, which is the follow-up one day. And real quick, just so you guys know, when this happens, it's, again, we're running through the checks. If it follows up one day later, it's only if the client goes stale or the contact goes stale. So we've had this happen many instances where, you know, we're engaging with a client with CloseBot, they're answering questions, and then the contact just goes cold turkey. They stop replying. And of course, we hate when this happens, but 24 hours later, CloseBot initiates a follow-up and it starts talking to that lead and reaching back out to them. An example of this is one of our clients, again, in the weight loss industry. They were talking about, you know, they weren't looking for them. They were looking for their husband, Steve, and he was needing to look good in his tuxedo. Had this great conversation with CloseBot, was really killing the answers, and like in a good way. And they stopped replying. So 24 hours later, CloseBot had reached out and basically just followed up with the lead. I think her name was Joanne. And Joanne was like, sorry, don't have this number saved. Who is this? And of course, we were like, what the heck? Like you were just talking to this, you were talking to us like 24 hours ago. But anyways, CloseBot fetched the conversation and it was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking to achieve your weight loss goals, or Steve was looking to achieve his weight loss goals and fit in his tuxedo by May. And it jogged her memory. And then they had a conversation again, which ended up leading to a phone call for my client and booking a session for Steve, which was really cool. So by default, every answer that CloseBot generates, it's generating a one-day follow-up. Now, this doesn't mean if the client responds 10 times, there's 10 follow-ups going to happen tomorrow. Every time the customer or the client or the contact responds, it cancels out that initial follow-up and it starts a new one. So again, it's just a fail-safe for if the contact does not respond to the last message of CloseBot. And if it doesn't respond, then 24 hours later, it's going to send, oh, let me check this. Scott's asking a question here. Is the workflow you just imported for a single bot or multi-bots? Go ahead, Nance.
A little bit of advance. It can be used for single or multi-bot. And that's something, Scott, if you would like to, I can reach out to you after this and we can kind of get you set up on a multi-bot setup if that's something you need. So I'll reach out to you after this, Scott.
Yep, and that's something we'll also go into in later videos. This call, I do plan on it being probably about an hour and a half long, depending on how many questions that we get. But yes, you can route it to whatever bot you want. So if you're using, there we accept that there. If you're using one bot or if you're using multiple bots, we can show you how to route it to the correct bot. But for the sake of this call, we want to make sure that you're getting up and running and well-versed in how CloseBot works. And then that's actually a pretty simple tweak once you know where to add it, and we'll point that out as well. So again, does everybody understand kind of where the process message works here, how it works? And again, I would caution, don't turn this on until you are fully ready to go. You've done all your testing within CloseBot, which we'll show you as well. But that is pretty much the on and off switch, that it's basically making sure that we don't have a tag that says don't contact this person, or, you know, don't send messages to them, sending the information to CloseBot and initiating a one-day follow-up just in case that lead does not respond. Let's see here. Carrie is asking, if you white label CloseBots, does it come unbranded in the snapshot? Also, I want to put in the other agency accounts. Actually, let me read this one out loud because this would be good for everybody to know. So Carrie is asking, if you white label CloseBot, does it come unbranded in the snapshot? Also, I want to put in other agency accounts I am building. Do you need a separate OpenAI key for each? Can you go over the OpenAI account you need for this? Yes, we will go over the OpenAI account here in just a moment. As far as it coming unbranded, the snapshot, you can rebrand yourself and then send that. And what my personal suggestion would be is how we're doing it with our agency. We imported the snapshot into our GoHighLevel account, and we included it in a snapshot that we send our clients when they sign up for, well, we call it an assistant. We don't call it a bot. But for instance, they sign up for Contour Assistant, and we're pushing the Contour Assistant snapshot, which is essentially this just rebranded. So that way it doesn't say CloseBot. The other thing that we're doing, and I'll show you where to do this, Carrie. In your custom fields, the other thing is I made sure that we rebranded this to Contour Assistant for ours rather than CloseBot. So if you're rebranding that snapshot and pushing that out to your clients manually, which I would recommend, you can name that whatever you want. Make sure it fits, you know, your bot. And then you're going to want to rename this. This is a custom field folder, which I'll show you here in just a moment. So hopefully that answered your question. And if you need more clarity, let me know. We will go over the OpenAI key here in a moment as well. So that is it for number 2, the process message. Again, it's your on-off switch. It initiates a follow-up. There's not a lot you're going to do with this one. We will show you shortly what you'll do as far as adding custom information in here. And this is great for agencies if you're looking to scale and you're getting similar information from each of your clients. Makes scaling and setup so much easier. And we'll show you how that works here in a second. So let me go through the rest of these so we can get through these. Now, 3, send message only for email, fallback for others. Essentially this, and I'll go over this one pretty quickly because again, you're not going to be doing really anything with this one. There's one tweak you may want to make, and I'll show you here. But essentially, if the person or the contact is responding via email, if that's where the conversation is happening, then it requires some extra steps for CloseBot to send an email back. Namely, it's going to, it has to be a from person, from an email, and then a subject to it. But other than that, this contact SalesBot response, that's what CloseBot is generating as far as a response and putting it back into the email. Now, I think it was James Hurst that pointed this out when his emails were responding. It was, what is this RE about on every single email? Now you can actually change this. So this is the only thing you can edit that I would edit in here is, for instance, some of our clients, they want their emails coming from, let's just say Dr. Jeff, versus some of our clients want them coming from, Jeff's Chiropractic or whatever the name of the business is. So you might edit that just based on how they want their emails. If they want it to be more like it's a human, then it would come from, Jeff Lopez. The from email, same thing. If they want it to come from a user email versus, a different email that maybe the autoresponder is sending from, you can update that here as well. Subject, you can actually use custom fields with this. So what we've been doing is RE, and we just put the contact's name. So you can use custom values for here. So that way each of these emails is more personalized seeming. Typically, if they're sending emails, I just have it respond as the contact's first name. And we've been getting away with that. But again, you can put whatever you want in here. It could be, promotion, RE promotion, whatever you want. But that's really the only thing you'll edit in here. I wouldn't really mess with this unless you want to add like a signature to it. Or that's pretty much the only thing I would do with, to be honest. So again, this thing, you're not going to turn it on and off or anything. It's always doing its checks. You're going to notice that, hey, every one of these workflows is pretty much looking to make sure that, hey, the AI off tag doesn't exist, right? Okay, we can send a message and then it passes through. And again, everything else, it sends back to the normal channels how it normally would. Email is the only one that requires these extra steps. So if you want to go in there and edit that, you absolutely can. Some people leave there just the RE about, and I don't think you're gonna get too much flack either way. Let me check the chat real quick. Can you have CB look into your member database to confirm the person they're talking to isn't already in the system? That's something you can check as far as like leads, right?
Absolutely. Can you look into your member database to confirm? I mean, what I typically do, I don't know if this will specifically answer your question, but upon putting CloseBot into any agency account, I always turn off all of the other existing leads, just tagging them all AI off. Again, so the CloseBot can only initiate conversations with new leads. I hope that's kind of what you're asking.
And actually, yeah, just to kind of further clarify what Charles is saying, because that is a step. So let's just say when we sell CloseBot, because we're not giving this to our agency clients for free, this is an upsell if they want 24/7 follow-up. But what Charles does is he goes into the account and all the existing leads, before we import everything in here and we set up the bot, he goes in and adds the tag AI off. So that way none of the existing leads get the follow-up. And then if he segments them differently, let's just say there has been times where we'll do that, and then we'll go into all the people that haven't purchased and we'll remove that tag because we're sending out a reactivation blast. So however you want to do that. Now you can have it reference for name, right? Like you can have, let's just say when it comes in from the chat widget, it can check the phone number and make sure that it doesn't have that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Skipping goals and skipping objectives. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and typically that's something that GoHighLevel should do. So if you have more people joining in here. If you have GoHighLevel, then you'll notice that when the people start coming in, as soon as the email or the phone number matches, typically it's going to, match that contact up. GoHighLevel in itself is pretty intuitive. And there's certain things that you can set within CloseBot to where, for instance, if it's, in the chat widget, we don't necessarily have their name or their email from the get-go, but if it starts to see a match, then it pretty much merges that contact if you have that setting on, which I believe is just in your basic settings of the location. You can make sure it doesn't duplicate contact data. So hopefully that answers your question, Eric. If not, definitely ask again, or if we need to clarify something, let me know there. All right, so let me keep going here so we can get to the nitty gritty. But these other three is essentially, they're just what we call tool workflows. This bot override message or just override message, essentially what this does, and cool thing is I had Bryce explain this to me because I didn't really quite understand it until he explained it. But essentially, bot override message can be done one of two ways. So for instance, in your contact, you're going to notice this new section, CloseBot. There's a bot override message right here. Now, this will fail because we don't have this account hooked up to anything, but bot override message gives your CloseBot context. So for instance, let's just say somebody's opting in from one of our lead forms for our client. We're typically getting through our funnel a name, an email, and a phone number. As soon as that happens, typical marketing stuff, they submit, we're automatically emailing them, hey, here's your voucher or whatever, the promotion is. We're also typically texting them, hey, welcome to Jeff's red light therapy or whatever the business is. The reply to stop message comes in there. But what we were doing is initially we were doing SMS, but let's go to a new workflow here so I don't mess this up. Create one here. We'll start from scratch. And this is just for demo purposes here. So let's just say we had a form fill out. That's our trigger. Now we don't have any forms filled out or forms made within this account, so I can't set one. But let's just say through a form fill out, you would send a autoresponder email would go out. Hey, welcome to the, whatever you're typically doing, but you typically could either do SMS to where it would send an SMS to that person. And that could be, hey, welcome to use this promo code, whatever you want that to be. Or instead, what we're doing now is it update field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Contact field right there.
So we're doing update contact field. And what this is, we're going to select the field. Oh my gosh, a lot of them in here. Scroll. Bot override message. So instead of sending an SMS now with our workflows, we're not sending just standard text messages. We're sending bot override messages. And this could be, hey, whatever contact name is, first name. Thanks. Add some spaces here. Thanks for opting in. What areas are you trying to target for? And again, this isn't verbatim what we're saying. But if this is the text message that we wanted to say to initiate a conversation, we're using a bot override message rather than an SMS from GoHighLevel. The reason is two reasons. If the last way we communicated with them was Facebook Messenger, well, we're sending a Facebook message because it's going to run through that workflow to communicate with them on the last channel that they were communicating with us from. However, if it's SMS, then this bot override message is going to send SMS. But the cool thing that it does is when we send a bot override message instead of just a regular SMS, it's telling CloseBot that it's giving it context. So again, you can do it through a workflow like I just showed you, or let's just say, a person is in here and you remember that Charles said, hey, follow up with me in 3 days. Whether you have your CloseBot set up to follow up in 3 days, which most people will just have 1 day, but if I want to follow up with Charles manually, hey, Charles, oh, we got more people joining. Hey, Charles. Yeah. You told me to follow up. Did you figure out if your girlfriend was going to come in too? And again, whatever your message would be, instead of typing it through your SMS here, you're going to use a bot override message. And when you click save, it's going to send. Of course, this will fail because this is not a real account. It's just a demo account. But as soon as we hit save, it's going to send that out and basically gives it to CloseBot as well. So when we do a bot override message, this workflow right here, go back. I apologize for jumping around here.
See, one enrolled.
Do what?
Our enrollment history, as we just did it went through.
Okay, cool. So I added it in there. So when you update that field, whether it's via a workflow or manually, and you hit save, that's all this workflow does is just checking to make sure that, oh, this isn't blank anymore. So we need to send this information to CloseBot. If that's empty, it's not sending anything from CloseBot from there. But as soon as you add something in there via a workflow or via manually typing it in through the contact, it's saying, hey, CloseBot, we got some new information. This is what we're sending to the contact. So CloseBot has context, which is really cool because, if we're saying, hey, what specific areas do you want to target? Now CloseBot knows that that's what was sent. So when they respond thighs and hips, CloseBot knows like, oh, okay, thighs and hips are the areas that they want to target versus just having a message come in with no context that says thighs and hips, which CloseBot can still do a really good job of rewording the conversation to get the context if it needs to. However, it's just so much easier. You'll have better conversations if you're using bot override messages. So you give all that context to CloseBot. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me check the chat here. I got a couple of questions here. So did you talk about a human override option? You want to take that one?
I'm assuming that's what we were just going over, the bot override message, manually sending that.
Possibly. The other thing that maybe I'm taking this as is, did you talk about a human override option? So, Eric, good question. Let's just say like CloseBot's having a conversation and you're ready to respond because or the business owner's ready to respond. What we've trained our business owners, our clients to do is if they're ready to take over, all they're going to do is add the tag AI off. Oop, there we go. And then as soon as you hit save, the bot's going to stop doing its thing and they can take over. So if they see that, oh, this person's ready to buy and that's enough for the business owner to want to jump in there and start talking to them, they just type AI off and that will stop everything dead in its tracks to where CloseBot's not sending any information back to this lead. So as soon as that's off, you can begin taking over the conversation manually through your messages here. And if that's the case, there would be no reason to go through the bot override message. You would just do it through your typical channel through here through the GoHighLevel. So hopefully that explains that one right there. And then last thing here, again, you're going to notice the same webhook, just sending the information to CloseBot. It's just taking that message from the bot override message and giving that context to CloseBot. And then it's updating the bot's latest auto response, which all that is you're going to see the latest response from the bot, which is right here, or the latest. There we go. As soon as it generates a response, you're going to see that in here. And then typically this will clear itself and you'll really only see stuff within the message history there. Let's see here. Nice. I see them adding a pause button that replaces the need for, I can see that as well. So that's actually a pretty good idea, adding a pause button. It is simple too, just to add like the AI off and on and just like delete that tag. We have had clients where they'll turn it off. They'll start messaging and then maybe the conversation will go stale because it's not uncommon that leads will talk and then they'll just, ghost you. And in that case, you could turn the bot back on and then you can send that bot override message, which would start everything where it left off, if that makes sense. But I absolutely could see a pause button as well. All right, let's keep trucking here to the workflows. And then we're actually going to be building a bot live and connecting it and doing all that fun stuff here. So now, again, if you see this workflow that's in draft, the one with the numbers, don't need it for anything. So we're just going to glaze over that one. And then tool, reset contact here. So this one's pretty cool because essentially think of this as your master reset switch. Now, again, you don't need to do anything in here. All it does is as soon as you hit reset, which is going to be within the CloseBot section of the contact. The reason that I see the need for this, unless Charles, you think of anything else, is essentially we do a lot of testing before we even put something in a client's account to make sure that it's ready to go. But we also like to test it as soon as we hook it up to a client's account to make sure everything's still working properly, to make sure that, everything's ready to roll for actual people coming through it. So in that instance, we may be opting into form fills. We may be watching the bot do its thing, but we make tweaks. It's not uncommon that, it responds and Charles is making a tweak to make sure that it responds better or gives more context or whatever the case may be. So there's this really cool feature here, much like within your test account in CloseBot, which we'll go over. But as soon as you hit reset and hit save, do that and then uncheck it and then hit save again. That way it's ready to be reset one more time. But as soon as you do that, it's looking for that trigger where you clicked reset. All it's going to do is reset all the fields within the CloseBot folders and the additional info folders. So all this stuff's going to be cleared out. If you guys have goals from your objectives, which we'll go over here in a moment, typically if you're trying to get, I'm just throwing some stuff out there. So like target areas was one that we get for our clients. What they've tried. If it's achieving those goals, it's checking off these boxes as it's, checking off the boxes within CloseBot. So you'll see that some of these are maybe checked off. It's going to clear all that. It's basically saying CloseBot, hey, fresh conversation. It's going to delete all the context from CloseBot for that person. It's going to reset the last communication type. It's going to reset the message history. So it clears everything out so you can have a fresh conversation. Even if you were mid-objective, you hit that reset, it says CloseBot, drop this conversation, start from scratch, re-go after all your goals. So that's all this workflow does. And then the only other thing too is if it has that tag AI off, like that was removed, it removes that tag so the bot can speak to it again. So whether that tag was added manually or it was added due to aggression from the contact, whatever the case may be, it's going to remove that tag so CloseBot can respond there. And then it sends that information. The webhook is just to clear out the message on the CloseBot side.
Yeah. And then another use case for it is whenever we prompting or training bots and we have it all up and running, one of the things we'll do is we'll have our clients actually test out the bot. Obviously, so it's to their, to their liking, right? We want to make sure that they are actually enjoying the conversations it's having. It's up to their par. As they go through the bot, they may have a tweak. We can reset the conversation, tweak it, and then they can go again. So that's another use case for it.
Absolutely. And that happens a lot. By the way, we use that reset button a ton when we're setting it up for a client, because every client's different, right? Like, for instance, we work with doctors and detailers, kind of weird spectrum there, but the docs have different weight loss programs. They might use different terms. One might call it a flagship program, or one might call it a diamond program. And those are the things that, the bot needs more context on to, for that specific business. So when it responds and it says something the client doesn't like or could be improved, reset it. And after you fix the bot, reset it, and then boom, they can go back through it. So, all right, let's go back to the other one. I think we only got one more.
Yep.
Cool. And then the tool follow up one day. Again, you're not going to do anything with this unless you want to add different follow-up parameters, and this is completely up to you. But essentially, on that second workflow, when it processes a message, it sends that information to CloseBot to process the message. But at the end of that workflow, you'll remember that it automatically dumps that information into this follow-up one day. So it's automatically going to follow up with the contact in 24 hours if there was no response to CloseBot after CloseBot generated its message. Now, again, we've edited this sometimes. We had a 12-minute one when we have sales demos going on.
Yeah.
So we set a 12-minute one when we were actually selling to our clients. We did like a little mini webinar, and we had people go through the bot as the call to action. And it was getting their information, but we noticed that people would respond really quickly. And if it was more than 7 minutes of not responding, then we decided to put a 12-minute follow-up. So, if they didn't respond within 7 minutes, they probably weren't going to respond to us. So we just had the bot start following up 12 minutes later. Now, as a good rule of thumb, I'd leave it at one day until you start getting very proficient with CloseBot. And then you can start playing with adding different delays on here. So, but again, this does reset every single time that, the contact sends a message. So it's not going to, if you have a 100 message long conversation, it's not going to generate 50 or 100 responses a day later. It's just going based off the contact not replying to the last message from CloseBot. So if that makes sense. So again, typically not going to mess with this one unless you want to change this to 3 days or 5 days or whatever it is. But again, these are things that can be done manually as well. So this is maybe a little advanced right here, but let's just say somebody does say to follow up 7 days later. Typically what I would do is, instead of going and changing that, if Jeff says, hey, follow up with me next Monday, I'm just going to add this AI tag off. I would set a reminder for myself to follow up. And then when I'm ready to follow up with Jeff 7 days later, I'm going to remove this thing, and I'm going to send a bot override message manually following up, because that will reinitiate the CloseBot. And unless you've reset all the information in CloseBot, it should still have context of that conversation from 7 days ago. So that could be an instance of doing that. And again, that's a little bit more of an advanced thing. You most likely won't run into that scenario very much. Now, that's pretty much all as far as like the workflows go. Now let's go into actually setting up the bot. And I'm actually going to pass this off to Charles, let him do his thing, because he's probably set up 100 times more bots than I have. Okay. But super, super easy. And go ahead and take it over.
Yeah, gotcha. So we already have the snapshot imported, as Jeff just went through all of the automations, workflows, kind of went through all of the custom fields as well. So what is next? We are actually going to connect our GoHighLevel to our CloseBot. So all we're going to do is click connect here. And again, just like Jeff said earlier, you want to make sure you're logged into a proper GoHighLevel. If you have multiple agency admin accounts, if you are logged into a different one, you might see different sub accounts. So just making sure you're logged into the correct one. Also, do not try to log into your agency account. It won't do anything. You want to make sure that you find that test account. Where did we go?
CloseBot Bootcamp.
Bootcamp right here. And then you're just going to wait. Sometimes it'll take a little bit. Just let it refresh itself, and then bam.
Yeah, if it looks like it's not doing anything, I've seen it take up to a minute right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal. Real quick, I do want to touch on, because we had this instance last week with somebody we were helping set up a bot. Mm-hmm. Their CloseBot wasn't talking once it was connected. And if you get everything set up, like we show you how to set up the bot today, you've got this connected, you got your snapshot in, you turn on that second workflow, the process message, everything should be good to go. But if it's not getting messages back from CloseBot, a good rule of thumb is like plugging back in the computer, literally just disconnect and then reconnect. You won't have to re-import the snapshot or anything, but we tried everything else, and then we tried that, and that fixed it. So as a good rule of thumb, if your CloseBot's not talking to your GoHighLevel, just disconnect and reconnect, and that should probably take care of it pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Another way to tell where we're connected is just location. I typically just check the 4 first letters of that. So I won't be able to see it here, but you'll see KWQQ on this side right here and KWQQ. So now we know the location is proper. We're connected properly on GoHighLevel to CloseBot. So let's talk about the CloseBot side now. We have a bunch of stuff going on here. Right now, we're just in the general side of the modify bot, and I'll re-click it so you know. I just broke it. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Let me just refresh.
It always happens when we're on Zoom.
Okay.
All right. Loaded there.
Perfect. Let me go back to my template. And this right here area, might as well, I'm clicking on it. This is how you switch bots. So if you have multiple bots, multiple different accounts, obviously if you're on the super user, you're going to have unlimited bots. If you're on any other plan, there's a 3-bot plan and then a 1-bot plan as well. But for us, we have unlimited bots. We're just going to scroll all the way down, go back to the bot we're testing out. And okay. So in the general area, we have the label of the bot. This is just going to be able to identify exactly which bot is what. We typically like to make sure we name our client name. So if it's, let's just say our client name is Jessica and she has a specific bot name, we're going to have Jessica, the bot name. So we know exactly, what this bot is, where it is, who it's for, and then we also can identify with bot number as well. Bot name. Typically, we ask every single one of our clients what they want their bot name to be. Who do they want responding to other leads? They want Sam, they want Samantha, they want Jessica, Teresa.
We've got a Betty bot.
We got a Betty
bot. One of our clients.
And so yeah, it's really to your liking or your client's liking. I think it's a really good, fun way to kind of implement AI into someone's business. Hey, who do you want responding to your leads? Kind of a good segue into getting a client on board. Delay. So we can change this. I typically have this around 15 seconds. This is going to basically give a certain amount of time for the bot to actually respond or to delay its response. Super, super simple.
And real quick, guys, on the response delay in seconds, Bryce and the team have been doing a phenomenal job of like getting that lower and lower and lower. It used to be like 45 seconds when we started using CloseBot. I think previously it was even higher than that, which especially in web chat felt like an eternity. Then we got it down to 20 seconds and that was like perfect. If you go any faster than like 15 or 20 seconds, it starts to feel like it's a bot. And again, not due to like what it's saying, you just don't want it responding too fast because sometimes it's generating some pretty hefty responses depending on your prompting. And that showing up in 10 seconds may start making it feel less like a human. So just take that into consideration. Sweet spot for us is 15 to 20 seconds, just depending on the business we're working with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to have usage. How many times can our bot respond in a single day? We can limit this. Typically, I don't limit the bot usage. So, yeah. Again, now we're going to go kind of into the tags. These are semi-new. These are, been around for a while, but these are pretty new. Great implementation on Bryce's end, on the team CloseBot end, adding these responses, and we'll break them down here shortly. So first, we have a stop for upset lead. If a lead is cursing in the chat, if it is, just any signs of aggression, the bot will automatically, or CloseBot will automatically tag that contact AI off, which will kill the conversation. To your liking, obviously. For us, we typically leave it off because we like to push the bot's limits to see exactly how can the bot kind of swing this conversation into a prepaid appointment or whatever, the bot's objectives are. And then
check the chat too. See what the questions are. Make sure it's the best response delay to prevent sending messages for back-to-back. Try 60 seconds, but it still does.
Soto.
Carlos, yours is easier to answer. I'm gonna answer that one first, and then we'll go right back up to Reese's. So if you have a bot and it's working fine, don't worry about upgrading it. There will be some benefit, but if it's not broke, don't fix it is kind of my rule of thumb. But you can go in there and update it to V4 if you want to, and you may see some speed improvements, as well as the double messaging, which we'll talk about with Reese here. So Reese is asking, what's the best response delay to prevent sending messages for back-to-back messages? I tried 60 seconds, but it still does.
So typically, this is something that the CloseBot team has been working on tirelessly. Obviously, you see Bryce always putting out updates. What I really do is just let the bot do what it's going to do regardless. 15 seconds for us. If a lead is coming and has two different questions, it's going to answer both questions. Sending double messages. So typically, if it does, it'll really bring itself back onto the objective at hand based off of the conversation. So it's kind of hit or miss as of right now, but I do know that CloseBot is working very, very hard to try to figure out the double message.
I do know that was fixed pretty well this
Mhm.
week, though. And Reese, you're saying like sending multiple messages, not a duplicate message, right? If you could just clarify, I just want to make sure your bot's not sending like duplicate messages. But yeah, 20 seconds has been the sweet spot for most of ours. We're just testing 15 seconds right now, just to get a little bit quicker response. But I love 20 seconds and it answers beautifully.
Mine doesn't have usage. What account or level, what plan are you on, Jay? And then we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Was there one more above that that we didn't see?
You said nice. I see you adding.
Okay, I'm sorry, we saw that one. New message.
Oh, yep. You want to let him?
Oh yeah, Reese. Yeah, if you want to hop on, you can unmute yourself and give us some more context on that.
Yeah, sweet. It does what you said with double messages in the sense that it always reroutes them back. But if they just send what one message would usually be in two split formats, then it sort of just responds the same thing twice, which is not that big of a concern. But I was wondering, because I did see all of like the Facebook messages where it was fixed or it was getting worked on, if there was like a sweet spot in terms of a delay response time. Like it's not the biggest deal, but would be nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been really good with 15 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds, and really haven't noticed any really huge problems as far as the double message. But that's really personally us. And again, I think through testing.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, yeah, I think that's something that is probably going to be still further refined. I think right now is the way that it gets multiple messages. It's just, oh, it's seeing a response, generating a message, and sending it back. Oh, it sees a response, generating a message, sending it back. In the future, and I don't want to misspeak for Bryce or the team, but I could see where there's some sort of delay, and I guess there's that balance, right? Like, do we have a little bit of a delay so we can put those messages together versus do we just send each one individually so it can generate a response to have faster responses? So I could see maybe a toggle switch for that in the future. I'll try to get some more clarity on that with Bryce when I speak to him this week. But yeah, right now I think it's just how we got to deal with it right now. But it is getting a lot better. So I know I probably didn't answer your question any better than we did before. So I apologize. But I'll bring that to Bryce's attention and then see if I can follow up with you on that based on what I hear.
Thanks, boys.
No problem.
Okay, not agency. Yeah, I believe it's on the agency plan. I would double check. I can reach out to you, Jay, just to make sure, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty. Now, going into the stop whenever all objectives are complete, we will talk about the objectives here shortly, but this is basically just going to add that AI tag off as well whenever we complete all our objectives. Again, we'll go over them shortly. All right. And then initially, whenever a bot starts to have a conversation with a lead, it'll automatically be tagged with AI responded to every single lead when this is on. All right, so this one is a great one by the CloseBot team and Bryce. Whenever we have booking errors through calendar, so this is typically the reason this is here is if a client's calendar is booked out for a good amount of time, 2 months, a month and a half, two more, the bot potentially can't read its availability. We'll basically add a contact tag of AI booking error, which then we can send automated messages to our clients, letting them know, hey, this person wasn't able to book, or the bot wasn't able to conversationally book our this lead. Go ahead and follow up with them manually, see what's going on. We can send automated messages to ourselves to make sure the calendar is working properly, and it's just the calendar's booked out, right?
And real quick, just what he said. Look at these as like reasons or easy ways to trigger workflows. So for instance, tag when responded. This is kind of twofold. Like the way I explain this to clients is you're going to see this tag where when the bot responds to a message from a contact, that tag is going to be there. So one, the client can easily glance and know that, oh, that bot came from a message versus somebody on my team. Because sometimes we're working with clients that have 6, 7 members on in their clinic. And they don't know, at a glance, sometimes was it Jessica that sent that message? Was it Dr. Whoever that sent that message? Or was it AI? And again, sometimes you can distinguish that pretty quickly. But the other cool thing is, like, the first week we implement a bot, we're usually setting up a notification to the client or to all the users that, hey, your bot's taking over. Monitor this conversation if you can, so that way they can see how it's responding. Because again, I always like to set those bumpers and those parameters. One, so if there's any tweaking that needs to be done on the bot, we can get to it pretty quickly. But also they're prepared that, hey, the bot's going through its, initial conversations this week. We've got it prompted, probably 90% of the way, but we want to make sure that, it's not saying things we don't want. So monitor this, add this AI tag off if you need to, and then let us know if there's any tweaks or anything that need to be made. So again, just think of these as the auto tagging is a way that you can trigger workflows. So tag when responded, you can make it do things. Notify your client, hey, the bot's taking over. You want to watch this conversation, which is also really cool. We found that we get a ton of testimonial snapshots.
Yep.
We just got one yesterday that ended up getting us more clients. Friday. We had a lady that, I don't have the message with me, but anyway, she said something along the lines of the bot was responding. I was a little nervous where it was going. I didn't quite trust it. And then it did its thing, or the bot is crushing it. It did its thing. I'll never doubt it again, or something like that. And so we snapshotted that or screenshotted that, posted it in the group, and then it created this long, we probably got like 40 comments on there now. Like, what are you talking about? What is this? And it's got more people interested in it. So again, if we can show these people in real time in that first week, I consider it as like a quick win that helps my clients get really excited about it. And we're really trying to look for those screenshots to be able to recycle back into testimonials. So again, a little bit advanced way of using that, but just think of these as ways to trigger certain workflows to make this more efficient.
Absolutely. And then going into aggression detected, again, very similar to the stop for upset lead. If the stop for upset lead is also on, again, it'll stop the conversation, tagging AI off as well. Lastly, here we have tag whenever all objectives are complete. This is probably my favorite one. Let's say our bot is having a conversation with a lead. And they just fill out a form. They just came on, they booked an appointment, and we want to send a message or an email to them about more information. We can use this AI objectives complete tag that got added automatically to initiate that email on the GoHighLevel side. So absolutely amazing. We can trigger basic SMS, emails, internal notifications. Again, just like Jeff said, really just notifying our client, notifying ourselves. Conversation just happened, go over the conversation, tweak the bot, do things like that.
Yep. And you can add that. This is where you can add that message history too. So we do that with our clients. For instance, with detailers, this is a good case or use case, is we're trying to get all the information collected about what type of car they have, what type of service they're interested in, and if they have anything like, pre-existing damage or anything like that. As soon as we collect all those objectives and it tags that all these objectives are complete, we'll send that to the shop owner, and it'll basically say, hey, here's Carlos. He has a 2020 Dodge Charger, whatever color, what he's looking to get done. And again, so they're taking that information and then following up and giving a quote. So a lot of different things you can do with that. Real quick, I want to back up on the tag when aggression detected. I like leaving that one on. And again, basically says this will result in tag added when basically there's AI or aggression detected. If you have that enabled as far as like stop, I rather just have like the aggression detected, because you can get a tag on there and you can trigger a workflow to let your client know that, hey, things are getting a little spicy with this one, check this one out. And then they can choose to turn off the bot. But again, our experience, the bot has been phenomenal at handling even crazy. I mean, we have some
ringer.
Yeah, we have some funny people at our office that will just play with the bots and say some crazy stuff just to see how it responds. And I've been very impressed. So I don't ever use the stop for upset lead, but I do like when it tags for aggression detected, because you can trigger things to just monitor it if you want to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Those are all the tags that we have currently. One of the things we'll go over real quick, I won't click here because it'll show our open API key. I don't want to expose us like that. But I will say it's very important to set up each one of your clients. You don't have to, but you can set up each, and that's what we do. We set up our clients on their own API key, which what we do is we send a quick Loom video or just a little 5-minute video of how to actually set that up and pay for it themselves. That way they're not using our own API key.
And there's a help article about how to go in there and set that up. Literally takes like 5 minutes or less to set up a developer account with OpenAI and grab that and throw it in there. And real quick, just to clarify, so this can only be done within the agency or the super user portal. If you're doing the white label version of CloseBot for your clients, as of right now, it will actually just rebuild them when credits are low. It will rebuild them as CloseBot, but it says something along the lines of, what is it, data?
CloseBot is a data provider.
As a data provider. So again, we've never had anybody ask about, what is this CloseBot or try to go around us or anything like that. And the other thing to think of too is, even if you're white labeling it and they see those charges, we've never really got any like kickback from that. We never had anybody that's like, oh, I'm gonna go do this thing on my own. We are pretty much the specialists at this, much like a lot of you. Some of you guys might be on test accounts, and when you first start using this, it's kind of intimidating. Like that was where I was at, and I've been doing marketing for quite a while. Like we've got big agency. Charles learned it way before me. But it was still pretty intimidating. So I wouldn't worry about your clients like seeing that and like that being like the end of your agency or them trying to go around you or anything like that. What you're selling is expertise to these people, especially in the white label scenario. Like you've probably got a bot where you've got a template that, has a better prompt than what they can get just out of the box. So again, it's not something I'd really be worried about. We just get that question a lot. So I just want to clarify, it won't really cause any harm to your business.
Yeah, and then webhook, external webhook, this would be utilized on connecting anything other than the GoHighLevel side, which if you are connecting to something other than GoHighLevel, I do recommend reaching out to support just to make sure you're, setting up everything properly for that.
Yep, and there may be some preferred partners that can help you with that as well. So definitely check into those resources.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so that is it for the general area. You're going to see some other stuff down here coming soon on V2 and Q4. But let's go into the main prompt area. Alrighty, and this was a template. This is the real estate template that was from Bryce. And you're going to see one of the biggest key features about CloseBot is that it's not one big layout like this. We actually have an improved layout, which is going to break down the prompt even more, just to give the bot more context and why the conversation is happening, important business information, and how to respond to leads. So we'll kind of break down each one of these very, very quickly. So let's say right here, hey, you're an investor named @repname. @repname is going to be the bot name. So whenever you're using @repname, it's always going to be referring to this name right here, which is Sam, whatever name you choose. We have @leadname. @leadname is always going to reference the lead that it's speaking with on the GoHighLevel side. So that contact is going to be Jeff. So if this bot is having a conversation, it's going to be utilizing @leadname, which again would be Jeff's name here. So again, just giving the bot context on why this conversation is happening. Did they come from a form? What did that form have on it? Are they, coming from Facebook? Are they interested in this free trial that you have? Or, is it a cold text? As you can see, however, you sent a cold text and to @leadname to start the conversation. So they may be a bit pissed that you messaged them and not even be interested in selling you a property at all. So just giving it context, it's like teaching a 5-year-old how to have a conversation. Why is the conversation happening? What should, the bot know when reaching out or speaking to the lead?
And just to give you guys another example real quick on this, why is this conversation happening? For instance, in our industry with like the weight loss clinics that we work with. So we're saying, hey, you're a rep at the best weight loss clinic in whatever the city is. So that's Austin, Texas. People are filling out a lead form from a Facebook promotion. They've probably tried many things to lose weight, but haven't found that solution yet. Your job is to get them to take the next step and book a session and answer all their questions along the way. So again, you're just basically giving that person an identity and letting them know where the leads are coming from for this bot, because it'll respond accordingly. Like this one, you're sending a cold text. It's going to know that the people that it's messaging are going to be a little bit more standoffish. So it's going to tailor the messaging to reflect that and try to ease its way in there versus, with ours, they're a little bit warmer. Like these people gave us their name, their email, and phone number. They have a problem. They're looking for a solution. We're the best at providing that solution. And again, they gave us the okay to reach out to them. So when you give it context like that, it just assumes that identity a lot better. So again, the better you can explain that, 500 characters or less, you just want to give it context as to where the leads are coming from and what you're trying to achieve with them.
Absolutely. And I almost skipped over this, but this is probably my favorite aspect of CloseBot, and it's the bot voice. This will change the conversation, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
So always making sure that you are properly giving guidance to the bot based off of its voice. You can be friendly, you can be mean, you can be educated, you can be strict, but this will definitely change the course of the conversation and how the bot is actually responding to your leads. So obviously test this out. What I typically do is friendly and educated for me has been very, very good as far as my bot's conversations and responding to my leads properly.
Can I touch on that just a little bit more?
Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, so we usually start with a 2. Sometimes we'll add up to 3 there. But again, like he said, this may be like the most dynamic thing about CloseBot that can change your responses like with the blink of an eye pretty much. So initially we had, funny. We had funny on there, and I think we had funny and witty.
Yeah.
And so it was just over the top. So
Yeah.
when we were testing it, we were having a client go through it, and then we were testing it, and it was like, one of the objectives for us when we were using it as a sales bot is we wanted to know where the clinic was. And like we said, Austin, Texas. And it was like, oh, the land of brisket and da 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 da. And then the next one, it was like, oh, what's your clinic name? And it was like Plus Plus Wellness. And it was like, oh, sounds like a great place where people come to, have a plus experience. And it was just like super over the top and kind of like just corny. As soon as we changed it from like witty to, what did we change it to?
Lighthearted.
Lighthearted. Okay, so lighthearted. But again, if you just change the words, play with them, because you might get some really over the top. And I've heard people even say before, corny. It's all with your prompting. So if you change the voice of it to be friendly and educated, bubbly. We changed it. We finally changed it to bubbly.
Yeah.
I think it was bubbly, educated, and friendly. So it was energetic. I think energetic was too energetic, but when we did bubbly, we found like that perfect balance. So again, play with these. And even if the word is not in the drop down, you can add a word in there, but I typically don't go more than 3. I don't know if it lets you go more than 3 or not, but we don't really go more than 3.
Yeah. But there's that right there. And then we're going to go down to important business information. Again, just more context and knowledge for the bot. So this is going to you can put business hours here. You can put, location, address, and all of those good things. Obviously, kind of a good core value of the business, what we do here, what services we provide. Again, just giving the bot as much context with as much potent information, as much potent context as possible without giving it, more than 1,500 characters in this specific area. And then how to respond. We kind of talked about why the conversation is happening, but how to respond to leads. So another quick one that I always like to leave in here, which obviously this is Bryce's template, he knows what he's talking about, is if at lead name asks you a personal question, come up with a sincere response. I think that is super, super important to always leave in there, because if you're not prompting your bot properly, it'll just kind of be too monotone, too much of a bot, and it won't feel like a real conversation. So kind of playing around with these type of things and getting to know and like get comfortable with your bot, understanding what are your leads from your niche, asking how are they responding? What should I tell my bot to do? How should I tell my bot to respond? Another good one is, don't tell at lead name that you are a bot. It depends. It's up to you. If you want to tell, the leads that you're a bot, if you want to tell them it's artificial intelligence, you can absolutely do that. Us personally, on our side, we do not tell our leads that they're speaking with a bot.
And real quick,
Fill out a form.
If you're not telling them that, or if you're telling it that you're not telling them that you're a bot, also make sure in your lead forms, like if you're getting leads online, like running paid advertising or whatever it is, if you have a funnel that you're asking name, email, and phone number, to be A2P compliant, you do have to have like, hey, you can unsubscribe at any time. You have that little disclaimer. Do add in your disclaimers anytime you're using a bot. When somebody gives you their contact information that you may be responded to by AI or artificial intelligence assisted, or including AI or artificial intelligence assisted messages, put that disclaimer in there just so you're covered. Because I know the FTC is cracking down a little bit as far as like, especially with voice, it's more AI voice regulations than anything, but I could see it. Just needing to be transparent that they may be contacted by AI.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the cool thing is they're giving you their consent to follow up with them. So I don't see it being an issue, but just do your due diligence and make sure you add that disclaimer. We added it to every single one of our clients' opt-in forms, whether they're using the CloseBot yet or not, just so we don't have to touch it in the future. We want to let them know that, hey, you may be contacted by AI. Now, when CloseBot starts responding, they're never going to know it's AI, but we can at least say that we did our due diligence and we set that expectation that they may be contacted, so we're protected. So I just want to put that out there as well.
Yep, absolutely. Another great one, obviously, again, shout out to Bryce, who did very great when prompting this bot. One of the things that will happen if you use @lead_name a lot in your prompting area, it will take that and run with it. It will obviously basically take your context of how you are telling it to, training it and prompting it. It'll take it and run with it to its conversation. So again, if you're using @lead_name over and over and over and over again, it'll actually take that and actually conversate the way you're prompting it. So it'll use, hey, Jeff, how's it going, Jeff? Jeff, how's your day, Jeff? Like it'll take that context. So one good way to actually prevent that is just, something like this. That means not using @lead_names in your response and not saying things like great @lead_name. Again, this won't always happen, but it is AI. So we do have to have those extra, cautionary parameters to make sure that those small little things can be tweaked. And again, test and prompt until you obviously find that sweet spot. Alrighty, and then going to objectives. This is probably another my second favorite thing right here. Just obviously giving the bot a clear path on what to do. So first, we're going to be, for this instance, we're going to be gathering interest. And then we have extra prompt area, potential interest in getting rid of property. So right here, title is really just for us. What are we, what is this for? Obviously, when we're not looking at it in this view, we can see it. This is interest. I'll delete this real quick.
The title is going to correlate with the custom fields in the contact though, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, whatever you name it, the title, that will show up within your contact as goals. So do name them,
accordingly.
What's easy to glance at and know that your goals are being achieved.
Yeah. And then we can have a short description of kind of what's going on here, potential interest in getting rid of the property. All right. And then we also have another small prompting area here. And this, again, as you can see, is only used while the bot is working on this specific objective. So goal is to see if @lead_name shows any signs of interest in parting ways with their current property. So this is very, very important. If you are sending a booking link, do not put your booking link in your main prompting area or any type of links in that area. So you can see here, we're putting that, a custom link in this prompting area where we're going to be sending a link. So that's also very, very important to show as well. Okay. Then we have obviously our sensitivity. So as you can see during this update, Bryce actually took, hid this option down here. If you have a good understanding of how to properly use this, go ahead and use it. How I like to describe it is pretty simple. We have our threshold, our sensitivity threshold. Oh, excuse me. We have our sensitivity threshold, basically giving the bot a clear understanding of a rating on whether or not to go to the next objective. Okay. So down here, you can see ratings. A 4 is not a pass, it's an X. So what does that mean? Right here, we have, max attempts. So if we change this to 2 and we're asking for their interest and they say, who is this? We're telling the bot, this is not a good response. Try again. Here, even give you some context on, how to respond and how to ask again, right? And again, we're doing just 2 attempts right here. So it'll go, bam. First time we have a 4, it's a 4 rating. Go ahead and try again, bot. And then let's say they say something like this. How did you get my number? That's a 2. Okay. Well, I'm not letting you pass. Again, if you are 2 attempts, it's going to go to the next objective.
If you leave it blank, it tries infinitely. Correct?
It'll try a lot of times for sure. It'll continue to try until that objective is satisfied.
Yep. So good rule of thumb is we always put 2, unless it's, I think maybe 3 on the booking.
Yeah, 2 to I typically do 3 for like important information like name, phone, and email. because name, phone, and email are obviously something that we need to actually follow up either bot or manually. So 2 to 3 times is pretty much my sweet spot. Personally recommend 2 to 3 times as well. And again, down here we have a 98. Give me an offer. So we are trying to figure out the interest of them trying to get rid of their property. They say something along the lines of this. We're telling the bot, perfect. That is exactly something I want to be said. Go ahead and go to the next objective. So yeah, that's how sensitivity and your max attempts work.
Scroll.
Mhm.
The way I like to look at this thing when I started to understand it was tell it what's a bad answer. That's the better thing to do. If it's a good answer, you don't necessarily need to put a bunch of good answers in there. We just start going in here when we're testing or we're actually have this thing live and we get an answer like, multiple times. And it's like, okay, why are people answering like this? How should the bot respond with this? So again, when we deem it as that's not a good answer, that's not what we're looking for, you're telling the bot how it should respond to if it says something like that. Now, the bot will do a good job of making stuff up on its own that will steer it in the right direction. But if you have a certain way of, you wanting it to handle it based on what they say, this is a great place to put this. And this isn't ever going to be like super long, 50, different things in here. It should just be, consider it like your fine tuning of, teaching it what good and bad responses are.
Absolutely. Another good thing is that we typically do is we kind of ask our clients frequently asked questions. So you can even go through conversations and see, where frequently asked questions are being, obviously asked throughout that objective timeline. So if somebody's, we're asking for interest and we have a frequently asked question and they have a good response to that, you can put it right here. And the bot won't verbatim every single time say this exact thing. It'll, say something along the lines of this response. Again, just giving it more of a guide to how to handle the conversation. So that is this. Okay. All right. So let's actually talk about our auto update. So we need on this side, what we're going to be doing. So let's say we're gathering interest. How do we take information from the conversation and update that on the GoHighLevel side? We do it by adding a custom field. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and add a custom field on the GoHighLevel side that's just called interest. Again, this could be changed to whatever your likelihood. If you're looking for name already is there. Let's just say, what do we do? Goals. What are some goals you're looking at accomplishing? That's one of our, custom fields that we have for our leads. We ask that question or the bot asks that question, and whatever they respond, we update in the GoHighLevel side. So let's go ahead and do that very, very quick. So what we're going to do is go down to our settings area over here. We're going to scroll down, and again, custom values and custom fields are different. We are doing custom fields. Typically what I'll do is I'll either make a new folder or I'll just put it in the CloseBot folder. But for this sake, let's just make a new folder. Let's call it real estate for now. And in that new folder, what we're going to do is we're going to actually add that interest field here. The bot can actually trigger pretty much all of these. One of my favorites is radio select. We can do yes or no, numbers, or just a single line or multi-line. Give me 1 second. So for this one, let's just go ahead and do a single line just for test purposes. Let's go ahead and click next, and then we'll just match it up to interest. And we'll save that. Now, if we go back into our contact, you're going to see this real estate folder that we just created. And it's just going to have interest. We can make it interest level. Again, it's up to your likelihood of how you want to actually describe it or label it. So when we do that and we make a custom field, it's not going to update automatically on this side. What we just got to do is refresh the page, and always make sure to please save your bot.
Always. Yeah.
I can't stress enough how many bots that I've actually lost, or just kind of objectives that I've lost because I didn't properly save. So definitely a little tip right there. So again, we just added a custom field so we can send information from CloseBot to, or the, contact information to GoHighLevel from the objectives. So we're going to go here. And then again, we updated on GoHighLevel side, refreshed. Let's just type in interest here. And bam, just like that.
Yeah, basically you're just mapping this objective to the custom field in GoHighLevel. And then essentially when this goal is achieved, it takes that answer and either will check a box based on how it answered, or it will literally take that response and put it in this custom field.
Absolutely.
Can you go back to custom field real quick?
Like this.
Yeah, like the folders real quick. And then real quick, I think it was Carrie that asked earlier on folders here. So if you want to, again, like completely white label this or rebrand it, you can name the CloseBot folder whatever you want. So again, we call ours, Contour Assistant, or you could call it Real Estate Assistant, or, whatever you want to call it. But that'd be another way of, relabeling this. And then within those custom fields, you can just rename them whatever you want. So that way it doesn't reflect anything CloseBot.
Great point. Great point. Alrighty. And so again, that's exactly how you map custom fields from the CloseBot to GoHighLevel side. Alrighty. Another thing we can go over is connecting a calendar. Let's go ahead and do that. So for this area, this is super, super simple. Thankfully, again, Bryce has mapped out a calendar. I'll actually make another one. We'll do two things. We'll do two ways. We'll do sending a link and then just conversationally booking. So if we do calendar in this auto update, what we're going to need to do is we're going to go ahead and need to grab this widget booking URL from the GoHighLevel side and just pop it right in here. Again, Bryce has already prompted this brought area as like a template. You can change this to, 30-minute phone call or whatever, your specific requirements for that calendar is. But what we're going to do is we're going to go create a calendar here on the GoHighLevel side very quickly. We're going to just create a round robin calendar. Let's just call it Bootcamp. We don't have any team members. Actually, we can't. Let me, should I do that real quick? Add a team member so we can create this calendar. Let's do that. Forgive me, we should have set this up previously. I apologize. If Jeff has anything to go over while I create this.
Yeah, while he's doing that. So the other thing too is, so some of our clients use GoHighLevel calendars. Now, a lot of them, since we work with chiropractors, they're using their own EHR system, which has its own calendar, or they use completely something third party that's not integrated with GoHighLevel. And that's perfectly fine. We don't mind it either way. So whether we're sending the calendar link that's through GoHighLevel and doing that via the conversational booking, where the bot can literally say, hey, I have tomorrow 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. what works best for you. Or we're sending a literal just link, which is a lot of times what we're doing with our clients. You can have it send either way. So conversational works, also sending a booking link to like Acuity or Calendly or whatever your client may be using. It will work either way, but the conversational booking only works with the high-level calendar. So I just wanted to stress that. Nothing crazy. Either way you do it, to me, there's not a better way. I mean, it is more natural, like I have 9 a.m., 1 p.m. or whatever. But if your client doesn't use the GoHighLevel calendar, it's not like a make or break thing. It works just as beautifully either way.
Alrighty, so we got our calendar set up. Thank you. What we're going to go ahead and do is grab this permanent link here. We're going to take this back to the CloseBot side, and we only need the back portion of this link. So everything past this little slash or before it can get deleted. And right there, you're going to see a green check mark that is telling CloseBot and telling you and telling GoHighLevel that, hey, we have a good calendar that we can conversationally book right here. Again, what we're going to do is close out here and save. Make sure to always save.
Yeah, good rule of thumb. I can't stress it enough. Anytime you do any sort of prompting or add an objective, just save. Don't wait until they're all done. There's just been times where whatever the case may be, something doesn't get saved, and it's very stressful when you just built the perfect bot and then half your information's gone. And again, not that it deletes itself. It's just we get in a hurry. We forget to do something. We get distracted. We get a phone call. and then we hit refresh on accident or whatever the case may be. But we have lost some great prompts and had to redo it all again. So just good habit for any software, really.
Absolutely. And let's talk about custom variables. We're here. We already went over a lot of
chat
other
question.
things. Oh,
any idea why my bot is just responding once and then it stops? No AI stop tag or anything in the contact record. Probably have to look at your objectives. How many objectives do you have, David? First question would be just, how many objectives do you have? And then, okay, 5.
What is your log saying? Do you have any errors in your log area? And no errors. What about your process message area in your GoHighLevel side where your webhook's at? Because sometimes it, I don't know if you have it potentially fail. Nope. All right. Check back with us. If you can't fix it now, I can hop on a call with you after this or tomorrow. We can kind of get that sorted out for you. All right.
Should be a pretty easy fix.
But of course,
No problem.
All right. So we did conversationally booking. And as I was setting up the account or just a team member, Jeff was talking about sending a link. How can we send a link? We can either just add a link in here. I could add my, this is just a temporary link, obviously. But what if I just wanted to send a custom variable or take a custom value from GoHighLevel and, share that information to CloseBot? We can do that. We can use, again, custom variables on the CloseBot side and custom values on the GoHighLevel side.
And I'd pay very close attention to this here in a second too, because this is how we create like super scalable systems. Like, so when we work with clients, being that they're in the same industry, like we can scale really fast because the GoHighLevel snapshot is completely custom value based. Even the websites, we can literally have a client up in 30 minutes. You can essentially do the same thing with CloseBot. If you have a template bot for that industry, and you can fill in the information that's maybe unique to each business using these custom values and matching them up to GoHighLevel. But again, once you set it once, you literally can just copy your template snapshot within HighLevel and then your template bot within CloseBot. And you can have a fully built bot with custom information if you do this, using what he's about to show you. So again, pay very close attention to this part because I thought it makes sense that it was available, but I didn't know until he showed me.
Okay. And then Eric and Carrie will answer these questions right after we finish the custom variable and custom value side. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a custom variable on the CloseBot side. So let's just say booking or book _ link. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this custom variable and we're going to take it over to the CloseBot side and we're going to go to custom
HighLevel side.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. The HighLevel side. And now we're going to talk about custom values. So let's just make a new one. We could always make folders, but let's say calendar or booking link. That's our name of this. Booking link. We'll just put a test in here for now. I should have grabbed the other permanent link. Let me grab that real quick.
And then do get in the habit of like, if you're using custom values with your CloseBot, which I definitely encourage, definitely put that in a folder. So, sometimes our custom values, we have quite a few, but you definitely want to know which ones are your CloseBot ones. And again, whether you white label it and name it something else, just make it easy to find.
Absolutely. Okay. So again, this doesn't have to be a CloseBot calendar. We can do a calendar. We can do a funnel. One of the things that Jeff and I did was, sometimes our leads, wanted to be more visual. So what would we do? We would send our, one of our funnel links, via text, via the bot to actually give them a visual representation of what they're going to get in this offer, with a beautiful offer stack. So it really pushes them over the edge to actually, schedule their, prepaid appointment or whatever that may be, or do that deposit.
And real quick, when we do that too, so we had it set both ways. We had it trying to push for a calendar booking. But for instance, with our clients, we get prepaid appointments. We don't let them schedule unless they prepay. So we're initially trying to send out a calendar, which has a spot for them to pay. But a lot of times what we saw was people were asking, why do I have to pay before? Then we'd explain it. And then the next, I guess, obvious question for them was, okay, well, what's all included? So if it tried to book them 2 times with the regular calendar link and it didn't succeed with that, we had it go to where it would send a offer stack page, which had the calendar embedded in there. but it would break down everything. And there was even a video there. So again, if they were a little stubborn or resistant to booking just straight on that calendar, we had it just pass to the next objective, which was same goal, trying to book them, but giving them more context, giving them a video, and then an offer stack to look at. So pretty much a little mini sales page, again, to refresh their memory and push them over to booking.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Now that we have our booking link, we have a name for it, we have our value. Let's go ahead and copy this custom value here. And now we're going to go back into the actual automations on the CloseBot side. So we're going to go back to this CloseBot folder, and then we're going to go to the process message. And then we're in the process message. We already went over this. What we're only going to mess with is the webhook. All we're doing is we're adding another item. We're going to give CloseBot the GoHighLevel information. And how do we do that? We just add the custom value over here on the right side. Our key is going to be our custom variable that we added on CloseBot side. So it was at book underscore link.
And just to clarify, guys, you can literally do this with anything. Like if you want it to be at Jeff's offer, whatever it is, you're basically matching up this custom variable equals whatever this information is. And that could be a custom variable and a custom value. And again, the reason we do this is when we import a snapshot into GoHighLevel, we can literally prompt a bot without having to go into or change the stuff on a bot without having to go into CloseBot. Once this is set up and it's active, we can literally go through and change the custom values within GoHighLevel, and it updates our bot because it's pulling new information based on those custom values and those custom variables.
Absolutely. And here you can see this is a custom field. So just as we did custom values, you can also do custom fields. So what we talked about earlier is the at lead underscore name. We can do at lead underscore last name or whatever it may be for those custom fields or custom values. So again, if you want to pull information from the client whenever they just came from a form, a little bit more advanced, but you can also do that as well. Bryce has a great self-selling bot YouTube video. I definitely recommend going to watch that if you want to be more advanced as far as, your custom values and custom fields. So, but other than that, now our bot now has information from GoHighLevel to CloseBot. So whenever we're chatting and if they're interested, obviously in booking an appointment, it will send the at book underscore link that we did on the CloseBot side that we just implemented right here. So that is it for custom fields and updating custom fields and also using custom variables for CloseBot. Let's talk a little bit about the knowledge storage real quick. That'll be probably one of the last things we talk about, unless you have anything else.
No, we'll definitely go into some Q&A here in a moment. So if there's any questions in the chat, let's see, on the marketing offer side, what are most people doing if the business needs more immediate leads in business, not necessarily help with support or bookings? Go up to the other ones real quick. Is the only way to... Is there one above that, or we already answered that one?
No, that was
okay.
just
sorry. Go to
very fun.
Hang on, I just want to see if these relate to these. If not, we will answer these questions here in just a second. So, how would you?
Great question. We can talk about that as well.
Sorry if I missed, Eric, but how would you have GHL booking dates, times get offered? Just Eric, real quick on that one. That one's as simple as, again, if you're using that the GoHighLevel calendar, if you connect it to that widget area, like the /booking, and you add that little code right there, it pulls from that. And this is going to be a conversationally booked appointment this way. It's just reading from that calendar. And that's why it's important to make sure that that calendar icon goes green. That means it can read the information on that calendar. So it's pulling the dates and times from there to conversationally book people. And then if there's not any available times, that's when you're going to get that booking error tag to tag when there's no booking slots found. And again, you can trigger that to let your client know. You can trigger it to let you know. But it's pulling directly from the information available on your GoHighLevel calendar. So as long as that's constantly updated or correct, it'll pull from there. Now, if you're doing a link, a separate link, and you're not doing the conversationally booking an appointment, it will not be able to like pull those times. It's just basically pushing them to book. And just so you know, we have a lot of clients that are doing it that way. For instance, Acuity. We have a lot of clients that use Acuity. Can't conversationally book on Acuity because it can't pull in the information from there. But what we can do is we can set it to send that link, and we can trigger an automation to know that as soon as somebody books through Acuity, we're doing it through a Zap right now to let the GoHighLevel know that this person booked an appointment and to turn off the bot. So we do it that way versus, conversationally booking. You can trigger certain things based on that. So reschedule and cancel.
And real quick, somebody asked the new upgrade, which is very good to go over, is the give info and get info. Great point. I apologize that I didn't go over that earlier. So gathering information would be like grabbing their interest. So how interested is the lead? We're going to gather that information. This is something we need from the lead. So we're gathering this information. Now, sending a link would be giving information. These are different just by the color. Again, we're just giving the at lead name or conversationally giving this booking link. So we're giving information, not taking or gathering information.
Yep. And as soon as it achieves that, it's going to pass on to the next objective. And just so you guys know, if you're watching a conversation, sometimes it's not as straightforward as soon as it's, at that objective, it's just going to dry send the link. It has to make sure it's done in a conversationally good way that makes sure it flows very human-like. So it might take 1-2 messages of answering questions before it'll send that link, depending on how you have your bot prompted. But as soon as that information is given, then it considers that being an objective achieved, and then we'll pass to the next objective. To be honest, most of our bots are still set up without giving info. We set them up with just the gather portion, and we haven't played with that too much because we had them set up before that came out, and they still work great.
Mm-hmm.
Give pricing for your services and see if the client is willing to pay for it. Oh, another person in there. Okay, did we answer the ones up there real quick?
Let's see.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody here.
So last one was here. Oh, sorry if I missed it. We got that one.
So how did you get it to do the conversational booking?
And that's just connecting your calendar right here.
Yep, just make sure you connect it down there with that little widget. As long as that calendar thing shows green, that means it's reading from that calendar properly, and it can do the conversational booking that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way to do conversational booking. If you're just putting the calendar link in there, like in your prompt area, that's not going to do conversational booking. You have to do it within that calendar step with the widget part. Schedule and cancellation. I'd like to see what I'm doing wrong because mine isn't working.
Carlos, I can reach out to you after the call, and I can help you as far as trying to troubleshoot what's going on with your rescheduling cancellation.
Yeah, because we don't have a real calendar working on here, so we wouldn't be able to go through that very quickly. Okay, if CB pull in booking for an RV park and the pads, I'd be set. Objective, use the advanced objections section. Would they?
Yeah, so like we just discussed, it's really just giving information. So you could also do another way to use give information is just kind of tell the lead by. I don't know if y'all saw Bryce's live video, him actually describing this, explaining it. He just had one of them basically literally like this, tell the lead, tell at lead _ name by, or say by, sorry. And then he had in his prompt area was like, tell goodbye. And so it would just be telling, at lead name goodbye would be ending the conversation, giving information, but you could obviously prompt this better, basically ending the conversation smoothly, giving information.
Let's see here. Ask more advanced question about booking through text versus auto booking, but still asking qualified questions. Yeah, that should be pretty easy to answer. Yeah, Reese, if you want to unmute and ask that question.
Yeah, thanks, boys. I guess the question's just if a lead comes through, so I do like lead form and then a scheduling calendar page. So if a lead comes through, it doesn't auto book, it goes through the qualifying question, books them in, sweet. But if they do auto book, I was wondering a way to still ask the qualifying questions, but instead of doing the booking at the end, it just says, great, I'll see you at this time. And I was looking at like the custom fields and making the goal accomplished be booking, but I wasn't really sure how to set that up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you could do is if they book through auto booking, you could just set your goals accomplished on your GoHighLevel side. Let me show you real quick. So whenever a contact is going to get updated, see here, all of these are going to get updated over time. Our booking hasn't got updated yet, which is going to automatically update. You could go through an automation, and if they book, and you can check off this goals accomplished. And that way, whenever it goes to the conversation, it'll skip booking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's what I was thinking as well. I guess just the last part being,
Mhm,
once the last qualifying question's been answered, just for auto booking, people say,
mhm.
like, great, I'll see you at appointment time, which I'm
Yeah.
guessing would be a give info thing.
Correct.
But
Yep. Absolutely.
so if a lead comes through but doesn't auto book, I have to update a custom field with goals accomplished being the give info part, so it doesn't do that at the end, or sort of how would that look like?
Absolutely. You could flip. So you can basically check it off. So if they don't auto book, we can check off, like for your case, it would be checking off saying bye. Does that make sense? So you check
Yeah,
off
yeah.
this, it would just go to these and then it would skip this one. So it would just try to book them. It wouldn't say bye.
Okay, awesome. And then is there anything particular I need in the give info section to update the appointment time? Like, do I need to set a custom value or field as the appointment time so it can dynamically look at when they booked and give that information specifically?
Yeah, I would definitely give it a shot as far as using a custom variable, just how we went over right now, giving
Hmm.
appointment time custom value and making that in a custom variable on the go or the CloseBot side.
Okay, awesome. I'll give it a whirl. Thanks for that.
Of course. All
And if you
right.
still get stuck or anything, or like it doesn't work out how
Yeah,
we're explaining, shoot us a message. We can, if we need to make a loom, we can walk through that
absolutely.
outside of this call.
Legend. Appreciate that.
Mhm.
No problem. Scroll. Are there any workflows to use CloseBot to assist with rescheduled, canceled, or no shows? So that would be more what, a multi-bot?
Potentially. But like I said to, I believe it was Carlos, I'll reach out to whoever's asking about rescheduling and canceling after we don't have a proper calendar set up. It would take a little bit, but I'll reach out to y'all and help y'all as far as the rescheduling and canceling.
Okay, then go up. Was there another one we missed here?
Any idea this one?
Okay, so any ideas how to get the bot to give pricing for your services and see if the client is willing to pay for it? Would that be another give information scenario? And then what a next objective, getting them to say yes or agree to the pricing?
Of course. Yeah. So what you could do, we can kind of go over that really briefly, and we can talk about the knowledge stores. What I would do if I was you, I would either upload text with your service and your price connected to your service. So service would be here, price for that service could be on this side, or you can upload a CSV file with that same information. So let's just say I have detailer right here, ceramic coating for a 2000 or a SUV starts at, $1,500. I could have a CSV file with that specific service, that type of vehicle, and that pricing connected. You could relay that information via Give. And then again, the next step would be on the CloseBot side. And if I'm talking too fast, please feel free to comment and let me know. Um, on the CloseBot side, what we would do is ask if they're interested or ask about pricing. And that could be an interested, are you interested in booking? Are you interested in pricing? Creating a custom field to basically get an answer to that question, a yes or no, single line or multi-line.
See. Yeah, and just to kind of clarify on that, the way I would do is just give the information, like you said, whether that be through CSV or prompting it in there to make sure that hey, here's where the prices start at, and then the next objective being make or check if lead name is okay with that pricing before moving forward, something along those lines, and it could be a yes or no question, and it can you can set a what's called a radio custom field within GoHighLevel, and it could be okay with pricing, yes or no, and it could dynamically update that based on
Mm-hmm.
answering that. So that would be the way I would play with doing it. But as soon as you give that information, just, having it conversationally go into, is that something that is okay? Or, however you want to word it. The bot will do a better job of wording it than I would, but just making sure that they are okay before going on to the next objective.
Gotcha. And then I'll touch on this real quick before we actually fully open up to a good Q&A. We have 3 ways we can upload information. We have website, upload a file. I'm going to upload nothing. You're going to see, actually, never mind, it's not going to work. You can upload CSV, docx, PDF, and I believe one other one, but those are the main ones. Website is great. I mean, website is good, but website is going to grab and pull a bunch of extra information that is not needed. So my recommendation every single time whenever prompting a bot is, if you're going to be pulling from a website, go ahead and manually scrape or use ChatGPT to scrape important information, upload that to a, doc, and then upload that to, the CloseBot side. The best way to do it, obviously you see here, is text input. Majority of the time I'm using text input and prompting and tweaking it time after time, adding extra information. There's no way to edit your current files that you uploaded. So what you would have to do is download them and then edit them and then re-upload them. So that's how uploading knowledge storage works. Again, I definitely recommend utilizing upload or text input.
Yeah, website's kind of like a last resort type of thing. The thing with website, though, is bots are going to scrape information that can or cannot be seen by the human eye. So a lot of times it's scraping links, it's scraping, anytime there's anything in the navigation area, it's going to scrape all that stuff. And the more you give the bot, it's not necessarily better. Less is kind of more when prompting the bots to be nice and concise and achieve these objectives. So when we say manually scrape the website, that literally can be as simple as going to a website and, highlighting, copy and pasting certain stuff into a Word document and then uploading that. So that way we're not collecting the links by accident that are on the side or the hyperlinks. You could even, copy all that stuff, put it into a doc. And then if you do have links that show up in there, just highlight it all and just disable all those links. That will give you much cleaner information for the bot to read. So again, the scraping from a website does work, but it works too well. It could confuse the bot or just not have it give as good of responses as you'd like. So definitely play with it, but as a last resort, use that. Not saying it's not good. It's just, it does exactly what it's supposed to. And again, it's going to see things that, maybe not very important for the objectives that you have.
100%. Alrighty.
Oh, what's that one? Missed that one. Is the only way to get the chatbot on website to work is if the site is created under GoHighLevel. If I have an existing site and set up GHL, can I just plug in the chatbot plus CB? The only way to get the chatbot on a website to work is if the site is created under Go.
Where was the site created on? If it's not created on GoHighLevel, I'm a little confused. Can you clarify a little bit more for me?
Yeah, Eric, if it's in GoHighLevel, super easy to add. You can do it 2 ways with the chatbot. WordPress. You typically can add the chatbot with code into a WordPress website. Now, I'm not a webmaster at all, but we have added a chatbot from GoHighLevel using the custom embed code. So if you can go back to chatbot or high level, can I see this?
Yep.
Cool. Let me grab this real quick. So if you go to sites, your chat widget real quick, we actually have not this account. We have another high level account that has some WordPress websites in there. Once you set up your bot, let me just hit save. It might actually update it right now. But you can do 2 things. So for WordPress, you're just going to grab this code and then you're going to put it into the footer section on your website. So you'll just grab that and put it on there. And then that will show up within your WordPress website. It does work on, I'm pretty sure I've seen it on like Wix, Squarespace. I think we just did one for Webflow. So again, you can use that chat and then that'll import everything into GoHighLevel as it's supposed to. Now, real quick, a good preface to this. If you add that code onto your website and then you go and update this, even if it's just the color of something or the words or whatever, you will need to grab new code and put that onto your website. But as soon as you save this thing, let me make sure, update new code. Okay, let you know, update the new code, but that's pretty insignificant. Like you don't really see it. So just make sure you update the code anytime you update the chat widget. Now, if you're within a funnel, because this is a question we got too, your chat widget shows up right here, but only if you set up your chat widget and hit save. If you don't, this will not show up here. So if you have a website or a funnel that's within GoHighLevel, all you would need to do is click enabled. And then this thing right here is going to turn it on that whole website. We don't have a domain set up in here, but it should still work. Okay, so now our thing's on here. But again, if you're using WordPress, you should be able to grab that chat widget code with this little button right here, and you should be able to put that in the footer of your website, and it should just be just fine. Did that answer your question, Eric? I'm hoping so. But yeah, all you got to do is once that is, same thing. It's going to relay all that information into perfect. It's going to relay all that information back to CloseBot using those automations and everything. So you should have no problem whatsoever. We've done it a few times now. So, okay, I think is that everything as far as how this goes. So yeah. By now you guys should have a pretty good understanding of how this thing works. If you have any questions, of course, let us know. You can actually comment on the event. I do want to let you guys know that for all of you guys that are still on a test account, Bryce gave us a special code for you guys to use, which will actually give you 75% off your first month of any of the plans. That means you could be a super user for like, I think it's $100 because it's normally $400 a month. So I'm going to put that in the chat here. So if any of you guys are on a trial account and you're ready to take the plunge and go ahead and start with the full shebang here, let me write down the code he texted me.
Ooh. Yeah, and this is all going to be, it was all recorded, so we can send this out to anybody who obviously wants the recording, be sent out to everybody. And yeah, if y'all have any questions as far as anything kind of advanced, more than willing to help anybody out. Just reach out to me on Facebook, just direct message, or just comment on this and then I'll reach out to you. But thank everyone for obviously attending. Thank you, Amanda. I'm glad we could be of help. I'm glad we can, really get everybody up and running. Look out for, Jeff and I, we're going to be posting some more videos, more content coming soon for all of those really advanced setups or just a really quick start guide to get everybody up and running.
Oh, Jay, the reason we're presenting this boot camp is we noticed there's a lot of people in here that are still on trial accounts, and not because they don't like CloseBot. A lot of times it just can be overwhelming. Myself, I've ran an agency for 5 years now. We have hundreds of clients, got all the awards from like GoHighLevel and stuff. But at the end of the day, like adding a new software sometimes can be intimidating. That's why I'm glad I got Charles, because if he didn't learn CloseBot before me, I'd probably still be, in the same shoes as a lot of you guys where we're not, utilizing this technology properly because it can be intimidating. It's very new technology, but it is very easy once you kind of see the clear path. And as soon as I saw, Charles using it, as soon as I hopped on these calls and I see Bryce using it, or, being able to ask him questions, we're like, oh my gosh, it's not as intimidating as, it, usually is when you're learning a new technology. So just showing how easy it is to use this technology, because we know once you start using it, not only are you going to keep your clients longer, this can be a new revenue generator for you. We're actually selling it high ticket. We're selling it for $2,000 to $5,000 for build outs, and then an extra $297 to $497 a month right now with our clients. So again, and that literally happened within a week of like learning it, because before when we didn't know how to use it, obviously we can't push it out there. But as soon as we learned how to use it, now we're pushing it out. Our clients are getting better results. We've boosted conversions. And when we say conversions, we're going for prepaid appointments for a lot of our docs. On average, we're boosting those by about 25 to 35%, depending on the location of the client. But that means they're getting a 25% boost in prepaid appointments. So they're happier. They have more people coming through the door. We're happier because they're not telling us our leads suck, which is typically what happens with an agency, no matter how much money we invest into our product, or, how many, edits or fine tuning we do to make sure the quality is as good as can be. It's just that extra little step. But we find that a lot of people are just intimidated by, using it because it's different than anything else they may have ever used. So we wanted to hop on here, give some clarity as far as how to get started, because we know once you get started with it, oh my gosh, you guys are going to do some really cool things. I mean, there's people in this group doing just absolutely mind-blowing things. I think it was Raphael's doing some really cool stuff.
Absolutely amazing.
Man, Josh Rosenfeld, oh my gosh, like he's building all kinds of new cool bots. So the more you guys get to using it, the more feedback we'll have to be able to, improve the product, make it better and better and better. So all right, let's see here. I built mine for the first time while you were demonstrating about, hey, let's go.
Yeah,
this is exactly why we did the boot camp.
That's amazing. I love to hear it.
That's awesome.
David, I will reach out to you after the call, and we can hop on a Zoom either later today or tomorrow. We will figure out what's going on with the bot. Eric as well. I'll send you a direct message and we can connect, see what you got going on, man.
Hey, Carrie, there's a group chat for this event. It should still be available for everybody after the call. So post your email in there. Honestly, probably what we'll do is we'll just put it in a Google Drive and just send that link to everybody through that group chat. So you guys can send it through there as well. So yeah, we'd love to chat with you as well, Eric. But again, if you guys have any other questions, we're probably going to do these, more than just once. So, we might even do some more advanced ones. A lot of times Bryce does those live builds, but we just want to give some more extra help because we're actually using it right now in an agency with over 100 clients and rolling this out, which is really cool because we're getting a lot of feedback. We're improving the bot. And I say I'll give Charles all the credit. He's been building this thing and really rolling it out at a great scale. So I'm just the guy that, sells it and really helps our clients understand why they need it. So we'll be doing some more cool stuff like this going forward, but definitely ask questions. And we just love to see what you guys are doing with it. So, but David, yes, we'll absolutely reach out and make sure that you guys, make sure you get taken care of. Shout out again to Jay for building it while he was watching this. It's
so
freaking
cool.
awesome.
That is so cool.
But that's all we got, guys. Take that discount code and go get your 75% off that first month if you're not already a CloseBot user. And that's all we got. And if you guys are on Facebook watching, you're not on the live Zoom, I'll post that discount code in the group chat. So you guys will see that in there too. Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.
It's our first one. We were a little nervous, but glad everybody liked it.
Yeah, that we could be to help.
All right. We'll see you guys later.